Hello, Topcoder Universe. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for joining us today. I am your host, Nick Castillo, your community manager. Welcome. Today, we are going to be talking about this blockchain hackathon that we're running, $50,000 of prizes available. So we also have James Corey along with us. James, welcome to the show.
Hey, Nick. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, no problem. So James is going to help us out, try to understand a little bit more about this competition, what you need to know going into it. So let's just get right into it. How long is this competition? How long do these people have to compete? What is it? Just kind of the general idea of this whole challenge.
Sure. So this is a hackathon that we're running through our blockchain expert community, blockchain.topcoder.com, and we're running it with Consensus. And it's a blockchain for social impact coalition. We're kind of going back and forth between the word incubator and hackathon because it's virtual. It includes teams, and it goes from April 9th, 21st. So weeks arc, and it's pretty involved with both front end, back end, and applying to 4 different use cases. So what I'm here today to talk about is how this differs from a regular Topcoder challenge, and how it's beyond just the single person, single challenge type format. I do want to advertise that we will be on another live next week with the members from BSIC, and they will be glad to explain more of the history and more of the nitty gritty of the actual use cases and stuff like that. But I wanted to touch upon today the team creation and timelines and what you need to do. So if you go to blockchain.topcoder.com, there is a link at the top for the BSIC Incubator. You can read all the information there. There's a lot of information about the prizes and the timelines and the judging criteria. How this differs from a Topcoder challenge is there are actually 5 challenges on the Topcoder platform. There's the main challenge that you register for that has all of the information, much of the same information that's on that BSIC Incubator page. That has the overall forum for the project. But then there are 4 sub-challenges, and that each challenge is for one of the use cases. So what we expect the teams to do is register on the main challenge, follow the forums. There's actually information there on how to join a Slack domain specifically for this incubator, and rules about using that Slack versus the forums and stuff like that. So teams will register for the main challenge. Teams will register for the sub-challenge, which actually just went live 4 minutes ago. Each one of the use cases, so read up on the use case, read the documentation that's posted there, and which one that you are interested in and your team is interested in. There's also a forum post in the main challenge that went live about an hour ago about building those teams. This is a little bit outside the Topcoder platform, so I wanted to be careful and explain this carefully and take questions on this. So what will happen is there's a Google form that the team captain has to fill out. You can have 1 to 6 people on your team, and you have to gather the information that's needed in that Google form posted on that form link. So you fill out that Google form, that comes to us. We create a contract, a DocuSign contract that shows the team name, the people's names, emails, and handles. If you're waiving your prize money for any reason, if you're just consulting on a team but want to be mentioned, or if you're part of a group that can't accept prizes or something like that. And then you have to say your prize split. So if there's 6 people, you have to put down the percentages you want split for whatever reason. And you will get a contract from us in DocuSign. All the members will have to sign, virtually sign that DocuSign document, and that will be a binding contract. That means that your team agrees to work together at those percentages, and at the end of the challenge, the winners will the prizes will be distributed among those winners. I don't know if there was any questions up to there, but that's kind of how it differs overall because of the teams. There was a question in the forum about how IP and how IP works because of the terms of service, and teams working on it because of the terms of service. That will be in the contract that says all IP remains with the submitters on this, because they're trying it. The word incubator is used because we're trying to build interest around blockchain and actual companies around these services and around these needs. So all IP remains with the winners, and all of the other award criteria and stuff like that is on the website itself. So was that long-winded enough for you, Nick?
I like it. I think it was a lot of information. I have some questions on it, which maybe some of the people watching have as well. But so the reason they were kind of going back on the incubator part of things, right? So the winners do get to keep the IP of their idea. Correct. And their okay. So and they're going to be developing apps surrounding blockchain.
Yes.
That's the idea.
Yep, distributed apps, DApps. But basically, yeah, using blockchain to solve those problems in those 4 areas.
Very cool. And so you mentioned creating teams. Now, we don't do teams typically with Topcoder challenges.
It's a little different.
Yeah. Is it going to be much different? I guess it's not going to be too different on the Topcoder platform. At least you just are able to.
No, there's on a team. There's a team captain. That team captain is responsible for submitting, as it's detailed in those challenges. But they have created a Slack domain, as I said, so teams can talk in real time in Slack. But we ask that any questions about the hackathon itself, as you would in a challenge, use the forums for that, please. We want the questions to be visible across teams if necessary. So use the forums for that. But once your team is created, you can create a private channel in that Slack domain for your team to talk in real time. And then, that actually reminds me, the other piece that I wanted to touch on, when you create your team and you register for the use case challenge, a forum will be created for you. That's a little different than normal. So your team, the team handles that are in that contract, will have your own private forum that you can discuss stuff on the Topcoder platform. The reason we're doing that is because you will get assigned a mentor, at least one, that can talk in that forum as well. You need to discuss with that mentor in that forum. That's where you will submit checkpoints as well. So that's another piece that I have to touch on. But does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So the checkpoints are very clearly detailed in the spec. Actually, there's a link to a doc about them. And also the judging criteria is detailed in that the primary challenge. But for checkpoints, it's just at the end of the week, it's kind of a checkpoint with your mentor. You have to submit certain state of your current hackathon progress. They're not, it's hard to say, they're not mandatory, meaning you won't not be able to move on if you don't do it, but they're good. And they actually do kind of factor into your final as well. So we ask that you do them. But they're basically just status along the way. As you get closer to the deadline, it's, pieces of code and stuff like that. But all of that is in that primary challenge spec that we asked everybody to register for. And, the rubric is actually an Airtable, and then there's a Dropbox doc of all of the checkpoints and what needs to be included in those and when.
Okay, cool. And let's say I want to participate. I don't really have a team lined up or I guess know too many Topcoder members. What's a good way is there a way to kind of mingle, create a team?
That's what the Slack domain was really created for. Okay. There's actually let me see. So the Slack domain is called bsic-impactincubator.slack.com. In the forums on that main challenge, there is an announcement. There's a link that you can just automatically add yourself. You don't have to ask to be added. And there is a channel for teaming. People are already commenting. I see Palo is in there. I saw Ket's talking already. So I see some Topcoder handles, but there's a lot of new people in there as well. And they're introducing themselves. They're saying, I'm interested in this, and I have this background. And, so hop in that channel, the hashtag teaming channel in the BSIC decentralized Slack. Meet some people, meet some Topcoder members, meet some new people. And, we expect all our Topcoder members are obviously very nice. Help the new people if they have questions, collaborate. This is for social good, social impact. So, everybody working together to support these causes. And actually the other thing, you had mentioned $50,000. So the prize structure is $10,000 for first place and $2,500 for second place on each of the 4 use cases. So the $50,000 is split among those 4 use cases. So there's plenty of chances for teams to win and get notoriety on this. And it's definitely a great experience.
Very cool. We have a question in the chat. JDev Mehta, who's I've actually seen on here before, so welcome, JDev. He wanted us to cover a couple topics. One being multiple submissions, and the second one being a single person that's registered for multiple teams. So if you can touch on those points.
I might have to ask the BSIC team about that a little bit. I would say that a team member has to register for one use case, because that kind of, unless you game the percentages that you're owed, I just think that would be unfair to your team. But I think it's relatively open. But ask that question in the Slack, or in the primary forums if you can, and we'll definitely get that question tracked down for you. And actually, I'd like to give a shout out to Sophie. Sophie Gu is from the BSIC team, and she has a Topcoder handle and has been responding in that main forum as well. She posted an announcement, so if you see anything from Sophie, she's definitely one of the main people on this. We're going to get more consent in there, and start calling out their handles as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you, JDev, for that question. We are going to be taking questions for maybe 3 more minutes. So if you want to get something in, now's the time to do it. And so, I mean, this is great because, yeah, we only have 10 viewers or so watching right now. We'll probably post this video onto the blockchain site afterward. But you guys are getting a leg up right now. You're able to kind of get all your questions answered before this challenge. Well, the challenge started about 13 minutes ago, but you're still getting a leg up, I think.
Yeah. So just to touch on the overall timeline, we actually are extending, and I'm working on updating the website as we speak, extending the team registration deadline from the 9th to the 16th. So currently the BSIC Incubator website says the 9th. Under the timeline, team formation ends the 9th. It now ends the 16th. Competition starts the 9th. But you have some overlap to finish creating your team. So get active in Slack, get active in the forums. And also I wanted to give one last shout out to Bird of Prey. Sergey is the co-pilot on this. He's my right-hand guy on blockchain stuff. So if you have any questions too, ask Bird of Prey. He's an amazing co-pilot.
Shout out to Bird of Prey. Really nice. Yeah, we'll just give it another minute, see if anyone in the chat has anything. So what did we cover? So we covered some of the team building processes, how the other challenges.
Yeah, the judging criteria is definitely key. If you look at the overall challenge, blockchain for social impact hackathon, not one of the sub challenges. There's judging criteria. The first link, there's scoring rubric. It's an Airtable. Nick, I don't know if you can put this in the chat or not. I'll send it over to you.
Yes.
But yeah, Consensus did an awesome scoring rubric. This is going to be used by all the judges. The judges are going to be Consensus people, or people in the blockchain specialization. I will definitely, Sophie will talk about that next week on that live chat. But this rubric clearly identifies different areas for different how you're going to be judged and everything. You have that all up front and very detailed, which is awesome. We are requiring a video demo as well for the judges. So that's in there, and Topcoder people would know we're asking for an unlisted YouTube upload of that video demo, but that's all in the challenge specs.
Okay, cool. And actually, I mean, you mentioned there were 4 separate topics to work on.
Yep.
Can you explain what some of these topics are?
Yeah, and they're detailed on the incubator page as well. But there's refugees, democracy, agriculture, and hardware. Hardware is definitely interesting for me because IoT devices and how blockchain can reduce the need for human verification is awesome. Attestation. I know that Consensus has a product that we actually ran a hackathon before on called Uport for attestation and identity and stuff like that. So definitely dig through some of the stuff provided by Consensus as well, some of the tools and and stuff that they have would definitely help with this. But refugees, democracy, hardware, and agriculture are the 4 areas. And definitely please read the links shown on the BSIC Incubator page about those, because you'll definitely get more background on the need and how to approach those topics.
And just a heads up, the Airtable link didn't work. It was, yeah, page not found. So I don't know if you have to be logged in or something.
No, I shouldn't.
Okay.
Wow, try that. I don't think maybe it didn't copy correctly.
Okay, cool. All right, guys. A better link.
Let me make sure.
Sweet.
Doing it live, Nick. Doing it live.
We're going live. All right. And so another question from JDev. When would they get mentors? When would they be assigned a mentor?
So team creation started today. We posted that on the forum. Once we get the Google form submission and the contract goes out and is signed, Consensus will provide mentors and we'll assign them and build the forum. So I would say that would start happening mid next week.
All right, mid next week. There you go, JDev.
We will keep you up to date on the forums as well.
All right. So I think we covered most things. So, we have our 4 areas, each with first place prizes of $10,000 for each one, $2,500 for second place, each one. Topics ranging from agriculture, hardware, development. Is that what you said? I forget what the other 2 were.
Hardware, democracy, and agriculture. Refugees, democracy, hardware, and agriculture.
All right, awesome. I think those are really kind of like hard-hitting topics, which I'm very interested in on seeing some of these results.
Yeah, definitely.
And we have a question comment type thing from Gianfranco Zabarino. Would you say this is too much for a single person team?
We've had that question a couple times. I know that Consensus was interested in the team aspect, but I know that some members have asked if they could work on their own. You have 6 weeks. It is a lot to ask, but you're more than welcome to compete by yourself if you want. You will still have to submit that the team contract. You just have to be one person and say 100%. And good luck. I don't know. You're going to be up against teams. That's really all I can say. Teams of 6 people. So think of the volume of work that 6 people can do. It might behoove you to find people, but I don't know. This is, like I said, this is a little out of our normal Topcoder realm. I mean, marathon matches, sometimes we do teams, but I know that I've not done too many team challenges myself. So it's a weak answer, but.
Well, it's very ambitious if you do choose to go the single person route. So, I guess props to you. Just get too burnt out, I guess.
Awesome.
Great. So if there aren't any other questions for you, again, we will post this on the blockchain website that we linked to earlier. If you did miss that, I'm just going to pop it in here one more time. Oop, that's not it. Or maybe it is. Oof. We're going live.
Well, just a shout out. Keep an eye on the forums, definitely, as you always should. But we will announce the next Facebook Live, and like I said, I will have members of the Consensus team on here to answer more questions about the 4 use cases themselves, and any more specific questions about the actual work and history and stuff like that. So keep an eye out for next week. I'm going to say it'll probably be Wednesday through Friday next week, but I don't have a date yet. Okay.
And we have just a question sneaking in right at the end. So in the end, can they submit an MVP, or is it full code that's required?
So I would defer to the rubric that was posted, because they're asking for specific things at specific time. There will be code there. It is demoware. I would not say that it would be released to the public, but the more complete, obviously, the better. minimum viable product that captures how your product functions is what we're looking for. That's what I'm reading that right off the page. So yeah, just look through the documentation, because I'd like everybody to be on the same page, and I don't want to say something incorrect.
And with that being said, you said that we're going to be doing another show next Friday.
Yes.
With people from
Consensus and the BSIC group. Yep.
Great. So if you didn't miss this one, be sure to tune in next week. We're actually going to have the people that are helping us run these challenges, helping mentor these teams. So they're going to be on live with us next week. So, get your teams ready, get them organized, and start planning out what you are going to be working on. So this is very exciting. Thank you, James, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, man.
Of course.
Anytime.
So we will catch you all next Friday. And until then, have a great day, and we'll see you then. Bye.
Thanks, guys.